Yo, 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 this is it. I'm Mr. Fade, and you're listening to Attack of the Beats on IllMuzik.com. 5 beats, 5 reviews, and let's get into it right away. First up, we've got, I still have to figure out how to pronounce this, K-Hoi Beats with Guilt Trip. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was K-Hoi Beats with Guilt Trip. And for this one, I like the beginning because it starts off, with this nice, with all the reverb, I guess. It's just that atmosphere sound, right? It just sounds like, oh, this is some epic shit that's going to happen here. But then, when you bring in those drums, the drums just to me, just throws off the whole thing, because the sound that you have, that main instrument, that main lead that you have, and then the whole, like I said, with the reverb and whatnot, to me, I'm thinking, oh, this needs like some hard drums to come in, and that would be so epic if you had some like smacking, like kicks and snares, especially the snare with like a giant reverb type of thing. You know what I mean? That's what I thought was going to happen and stuff. But even though you have the crazy 808, that's cool and everything, but with the drums though, it's just like it's just throwing off the timing and whatnot and stuff. So even the lead though, towards the end, it's just because you're bringing it in and out here and there and stuff. So it's kind of sounding choppy or whatever. But the drums though, it's just that because of the drum pattern, it's just the timing is off and stuff. So some people, I don't know. I mean, I know some people play the drums live rather than just sequence them and stuff. I've seen, I've heard that happen. I should say, but I don't know if you did that or not. But it's just the timing; it just seems to be off and all that. So whether you play or not, still there's also there's quantizing you could use obviously to tighten it up and everything. But besides the drums and all that, the main part, like I said, is really good. And to me, that needs some. It just sounds epic. So I just find it needs some epic drums to go with it. That's the main thing I'm getting at here. So I would just try that because I like where you're going with it, but it's just the drums and the timing of it. It just kind of threw me off. So, all right. So next up, we've got Fury Beats with Dopamine. Let's check it out. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so that was Fury Beats with Dopamine. See, for this one, I like because you know your bass line, it's matching up with your main melody track, and you know it just sounds so good consistently all the way through and all that. You know, your drums do sound very good, but they sound also very dry and very loud in the mix and all that stuff. So one thing that I discovered a long time ago, and I made a video about that a few years ago, where plugins make a huge difference when it comes to everything basically, but when it comes to your drums and all that stuff. So there was that one plugin, what's it called again? There's Decimort that I have, and it's got all these different types of classic drum machine sampler settings, and wow, that makes a big difference. So whether you have that or whether you have just a regular compressor that you can put on that and stuff, compression will make a big difference on your drums. Now you don't want to do too much obviously, but still, because I find sometimes when you have a drum track, it's the drums sound nice, the drums themselves and all that stuff, but the next thing you know, they just kind of sound empty, like there's not much life to them and stuff. So that's where you could bring in some sort of plug-in to just bring it some life and give it some life and whatnot, whether it's compression or whatever else you're doing to it and stuff. So I do like what you have. Now it doesn't have to be a super exciting drum track, but still, I would suggest just trying something like that just to liven it up somewhat. But still, I like your bass, I like your melody, it's good. And for me, it's mainly the drums, the sound of them, and the way they're sitting in the mix. So I would just check that, and you'd be good to go. All right, so next up, we've got Gasoline AF with is it Majesty or Majesty? That's what it looks like. This is G here. So with Majesty. All right, let's check it out.
And you made this bit.
All right. Okay, so that was Gasoline AF. I know what that means. With Majesty, whatever. All right, so for this one, I like the sound of the drums. They sound really good, sit well in the mix and everything. And the guitar is very good. Although the guitar could, you could scale it back somewhat. It just sometimes, like when you have instruments like that, it could be, well, any instrument really. But let's say you just don't have to have it all the way through. Let's say you could have a couple breaks where you just kind of take it out, whatnot, or whatever. So, but I do like the sound of the guitar. It's good. And I think the only complaint would be the bass line, is that I don't think it needs to be that busy, because as I kept listening to it, I'm thinking to myself, well, the bass is kind of taken away from the rest. Like, it's just a little too overwhelming in the mix. So I would suggest all you really need for this beat is to really have like one or two bass notes at the beginning of each bar, pretty much, because the ones in the middle, those notes, I think it's just muddying it up the mix right there. You're just too muddy. So I would suggest just have it towards the beginning and whatnot. So yeah, that'd be my only complaint, because I do like the drums sound nice and the guitars sound nice and all that. Very smooth track. It's just the bass line part. I would suggest just scaling that back a lot, and I think that make a big difference. All right, so next up we've got Michael's Life with This Is Your Fight. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Michael's Life with "This Is Your Fight," and I really like this. It sounds really good. The mix, it's really tight, and that was the first thing I noticed and all that stuff. The drums are really good. The bass is really good and all that, and I really like those keys. You know, the keys at the beginning there. Well, you had all the way through, but that's the thing I was thinking about. I was like, well, I was expecting a change up after those first 8 bars, and you did bring in those other keys after those 8 bars and stuff. So that's good. But I would bring in just that and just remove the first keys that you have, you know, and use that just as the hook. Because as I kept listening, I'm listening to that part, the main keys that you have, and it does sound really good. But then once you bring in the other one, then you bring in the strings, it just gets a little too busy for me in the mix. So I mean, it does sound good. It's just I just would like to hear it without those main keys. Make those like just as a hook or something like that. I think that would like make the listener want to hear that more, like anticipate it. Okay, I want to hear that come back, you know, for the hook or whatever. So I think that'd make a big difference in a lot, because especially when you're bringing the strings and stuff. I thought that'd be nice. Those second keys you have, if you had just that, very mellow with the drums and the bass, and then all of a sudden you bring in some smooth strings. I think that would be really good, you know. So I would just scale back those initial keys just a bit, and you know, just have them on the hook maybe, and just see how it goes. And I think that'd be really good. Yeah. All right. So next up we've got the last beat. It's Uzi Keys with Drip Symphony. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Uzi Keys with Drip Symphony. Now, obviously, this is very synthy, all right? And I do like what you have, though. It's a good melody. I like how everything blends together. I like the pattern that you have, that everything, you know, how everything's working and stuff. But and the change ups and everything. I just think it's just overall, it's just the mix that needs a bit of work, because I just think the synth is just too overpowering in the mix. Like, I don't hear much of the drums. And I mean, that's okay. You don't have to have, you know, drums front and center all the time, but it's just I'd like to hear a little more of the drums, and instead of having just this heavy synth all the way through and stuff, because as you build up, it gets a little heavy and stuff. And so, you know, over time, you know, I've learned that too, that, you know, where you just have to, you know, scale some things back. You got to take some things out, and just, you know, picture like how. For me, when I'm making a beat, and actually when I'm mixing especially, is that I'm trying to think about the listener. Like, is the listener going to want to listen to this for a long period of time? Are they going to want to listen to this over and over again, right? Because if you have something that's very loud and very busy and stuff, I don't think people are going to want to rewind it, you know, back to the beginning and then listen to it over and over again. You know what I mean? So I think that, you know, you're just going to tire people's ears out. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to just, you know, keep things scaled back when need be and stuff. So what you have is good. Like I said, it's just that it just needs to be tightened up in the mix, not have everything so heavy and so in your face. You know what I mean? So and just to hear a bit more of the drums and whatnot and stuff. But still, it's good. I like it. I like the synth, and just make a few of those changes, and you'll be good to go. All right, so that's it for me. I'm Mr. Fade. This is Attack of the Beats. Keep sending your beats in. I'll keep reviewing them. And my favorite beat is, the winner is, drum roll please, Michael's Life with This Is Your Fight. Let's check it out.